Well, hello guys. Welcome to this video. It's completely dedicated to doing upholstery. I have a friend, Peter Anderson, who's doing up an XC Falcon, and I've already reupholstered his seats, the interior, and now it's time to do the door trims or the door cards, door panels, depending on where you're from. Normally what I do is, in my own restoration videos, I'll sort of stitch in other parts or other little projects that I'm working on, other little things. But this particular video, I wanted to post it independently of my own restoration videos. He wants to use these straps on this door handle, on this door type arrangement, but with electric windows. So that hole there is for the window winder. That's redundant. These are the door panels I think I'm recovering. Well, I'm sure I'm recovering. They're not in bad. These are actually in pretty good condition. There's a little bit of damage on the back. They had been wet at some point. We're going to be eliminating that timber insert in lieu of this. And we're going to reinstall this chrome strip. I'm going to use a slightly different technique. Carpet on the bottom. I don't think there's any ashtrays in them or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably not going to cut any of these out. I'll let Pete do them. I'm just going to cover the door cards and what he can cut out what he wants. Rather than me actually, if I cut something and it's not right, then all of that effort is just wasted. So he can cut these holes quite happily, do whatever he wants to do. So basically what I have to do is I have to retrieve these off these door cards. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to retrieve these buckles and polish them up. So that's the rear driver's side door. So we have to retrieve these buckles, they're nicely chromed, clean them up, and then we need to reassemble these or cut new ones. These are the bracing clips for brackets for the rear. These are all rusty, so I'm going to take them out and clean them up. So I'm going to have to do one at a time because there's so many different shapes and pieces. So that's all myself. White rubber. That goes there. Just like that. Like that. Just like that. So I'll clean that up. Get that rust off there. So I can see why I've been putting this job off. These are just friggin' nightmare. So there doesn't seem to be an up or a down or a top or a bottom to these. These seem to be universal, so they can go on in any direction, which is good. Give them a nice polish up, they should come up really nicely. You have to do one at a time because they're so intricate that, you know, in the different locations there's that shape there. That's the rear driver's side. At the rear, this is the front rear where the window winder goes, but of course we're eliminating that. And that's the centre section. Just want to show you these. Come up really, really well, beautifully. No pitting, so it's obviously really good chrome that they've used. So windy outside. Hot winds. There's thunderstorms coming. So when they come, it should settle down. I'm doing both the left and the right rear doors at the same time. Okay, so that piece is that piece. That. So that's one down. Okay, this centre piece is really tricky. We need to insert this little strip of steel, and it has to finish at an exact width, otherwise it'll be sort of bowing out or loose. It has to sit nice and tight against the door card, and so that actually inserts through the join into that cavity, pushes all the way along, and then in, and then tucks in, and then pushes back. It's got a few lumpy bumpy bits there, but hopefully they come out when I sew it. Done pretty good. So now we have to try and get that piece of steel inserted in the back. Okay, so it's really important that your stitch line is outside where it needs to be. Looks like I've just got away with it on this case. Let's push it back under that little slot. Okay, so we've got away with it. It's good. Give that a 95 out of 100. Give it a little bit of assistance. All right. Okay, we're looking good. It's pretty much the right length. So there we have it, driver's side rear door. These things are mongrels. Really difficult, time consuming. I mean, this has taken 3 hours to do. Mind you, that being said, I've cut the other rear door one, and shouldn't take as long. But there's 3 hours, there's a lot of work, eh? Well, come across a few snags. These little plates for the straps, some of them are really rusty, and even though I wire brushed the little nuts, they were quite rusty on the top. These hold the straps onto the back of the door card. You know, they're just so fine that when you try and get a spanner on, I wire brushed them and hit them with WD-40 and got most of them off. This is off the front door, front driver's door. So that, I had to notch that out. That was, there's a little bolt that goes in there, same as that. Now, Peter's got two rear door cards that he's bringing down now, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't have any fronts, so we do need to fix this front one. So what I found a bolt, it's quite a bit longer, with the same thread, and I'm going to insert it into there, and I'm going to try and weld it in on a really low heat, tack it in, and that'll get us through the front door. I'll be able to use the parts that Peter's about to bring down for the rear to finish them, but man, these are, and they have to be in exactly the right spot, sort of the same size sort of diameter bolt. Anyway, so that's where we are. So there you have it. I managed to get that in there. Naturally, I was really trying to prevent the weld from creeping up the thread, but there's a little nut for it. Well, there's testimony to the professionalism of these, of my videos at least. All my other cohorts and colleagues, they tend to do a fantastic job of production. I was happily, gleefully sewing away there on the sewing machine, showing you how to sew nice straight lines, and lo and behold, it turns out that the camera was off. So, okay. It's really important, especially on this cosmetic stuff too, to sew top side down. I was, on the first one I sewed it upside down because I could see the starting position of that vinyl flap, but it's better to do it that side, and yeah, so the finished result is excellent. So nice straight seams. So anyways, we'll carry on. Okay, these are the weather strips for the window. They're held on by these steel staples which punch through the outside of the rubber strip and straight through the steel and bend over, fold over. Now, they are quite a heavy gauge staple. They're really, I can't even get in there there's no lip on there with this needle to pry them up, and this needle's quite strong, but see, it's bending. And I've got a couple of upholstery tools, but still nothing that's working on these. And these rubber strips, these weather strips, are so fragile that they're easily broken. So they're so brittle. So I'm going to have to cut them off, okay? So I'm going to cut them off. I've texted Pete to tell him that I need to do it. He's going to have to source some new staples, or fold some up. Oh, these strips are brittle as. And that's the staples in the back there. I'll leave them in there so Pete can find the location. The little chrome bezels are pretty easy to get out. Just bend up 2 larger tabs. So you just straighten the 2 larger tabs out, and the whole thing just pushes out. There's smaller tabs around the circumference, but yeah, you can straighten them out of the door. So that's it. On this occasion, this chrome strip has been poorly plastic welded onto the door cart, and it is removable without damaging it. It just comes off real easy once you get under it. So as you can see, that chrome strip is still usable. That can be glued back on. Okay, so this is a two-piece cover. Top section there, and the carpeted section. And that's it. So three pieces. The carpet section, the top section, and the chrome strip. Okay, so what I need to do is these holes, that hole, that hole, that hole, and that hole, these are off the original door panels. Those holes need to be transferred onto this board here and drilled out. Just been down and bought just a cheap hole saw kit. It's got a 19mm, that's a 20mm hole, but 19mm will do it. Really, you can't drill these out very neatly any other way. You can't do it with a drill bit, it will just make it all fluffy, and fluffy's no good. Alright guys, I'm just about to start doing the bottom halves of the door panels, which is the carpet section. Because you mark it out from the back and cut it from the back, you really need to check the front first to make sure that there's no flaws or imperfections in the weave. Even stains and oils and paints and whatnot, you know, you just want to make sure you're not going to waste carpet. So I've checked that. I'm good to go. I've marked these carpets out ready to cut. Although it's probably going to be unnoticeable, but the right thing to do is to mark a T at the top of every piece. Top, top, top. Okay, it's directional material, even though it doesn't seem like it, it is. You'll never notice it, nobody will ever know, but that's what upholsterers do. Okay, so top, 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 top. This is the right thing to do, it's the way it's done. It's just one of the rules. Okay guys, I've cut the carpet and the vinyl too, that sews around the edges of that. Probably jumping the gun a little bit before I make those up and fasten them to the board. The reason is the chrome strip that sits just above where the carpet is I'm going to be doing a slightly different technique for two reasons. Firstly, we can use this really nice self-adhesive chrome strip. It's brand new and I've got it here, so I might as well use it. Secondly, these chrome strips are just a little bit sort of aged looking, and there's no real way to fasten them properly except for glue. And glue, I mean, these are an adhesive, and you know, you could come up with an adhesive for that, but I don't like gluing things like old things like that back on. It seems to be just a bit of a sort of a cheat. And the other thing is too, because I haven't got any ability to do any plastic welding, I can't actually secure, aside from using glue, the two pieces of vinyl, the piece of vinyl from the carpet up the door trim, and then the piece of vinyl from the door trim down towards the carpet. There's no way of securing that properly. You can't sew it because, of course, you know, the two pieces are going on individually. So there is an overlap. You know, with glue is okay. Now I'm going to locate that directly underneath this, but I need to come up with a way to fasten this to the board. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut strips of steel, and I'll show you a way to sort of secure those to the board, and then we'll stick this to the this chrome trim to the steel plate. yeah, so it's bloody involved. It's really involved, but it's going to be a great look, and it sort of solves two problems. It allows us to use a brand new chrome trim, and it also gives me the ability to secure those two pieces of fabric firmly against the board using more than just glue, using a fastening technique that I'll show you. So yeah, so it solves two problems: more labour, but the result will be really, really good. And so I'm going to have to do those while I don't have any obstructions on the boards. I'm going to have to make up those steel strips now and get them ready to go, get the holes drilled in the boards, everything located, and then I can carry on my merry way. So it's another half a day just doing that rubbish. So it's going to sort of set me back a little bit more in time, but yeah, it's going to be worth it. So anyway, I'll leave you to it. So I just had to go over to Pete's place up in town there to pick up the armrests for this car. These are different armrests that go on those door panels. So I'm getting more and more confused as time goes by. So these armrests are on those door panels and blah 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 blah. The reason why I needed them was because I need to cut the padding away when I'm putting brand new foam over the door card. So I need to be able to cut, I've got to cut that foam away around those areas there. Otherwise it's going to sort of bulge, and these armrests aren't going to want to sort of screw right up tight to the door. So and because they're old, they're a little bit out of shape, they will straighten up, but it's nice to be able to just cut the foam away just proud of that surface, so that it actually overlaps and the fabric actually in the cover sort of bulges under or bulges out over it. So it just hides all that edge, and if there is any sort of, like if it was just a flat surface, there might be gaps. This is the best way, so it'll hide all gaps and make it look really good. So yeah, so he's going to have to paint these to match the colour, but you'll see that on his video, I'm sure. So I found out what sort of car it is. It's a XCGXL Fairmont. So that's the car. So that's with power windows. So that's what these are for. These are the power window armrests. So anyway, I'll leave you to it. That is going to just sit so well. That's awesome. No pucker on that corner. But you have to sew it with the carpet side up because this vinyl slides all over the carpet. You're better off just sewing the vinyl in and then placing the carpet underneath the needle. Keep it nice and straight. Those are nice straight lines. Beautiful. Okay, before I glue the carpet on, I just want to explain what I've done. These little strips of steel have got holes drilled in them. I'm not sure if you can see. I've got corresponding holes are drilled in the door card. Now that actually fastens through those holes to that board in exactly that position. The carpet finishes 10mm shy or south of that steel strip, so it gives enough area for the fabric to go underneath that steel strip. That black line across the top, that is where I'm going to end the foam for the top half. The foam's going to finish at that point, so there's absolutely no padding, there's nothing, there's no carpet, no padding, there's just 2 layers of vinyl under there. So everything should valley down into that little channel. That'll make a channel, and we stick the chrome strip to that. Voila. Oh, that's awesome. What's not so awesome is this section. Oh no, it's sticking down now. Yeah, glue wasn't quite dry enough along here when I folded that over, but it seems to be sticking now, so this is the bottom half. Now, the reason the vinyl is longer on that section there than on that section there, it's not a mistake. They ended the carpet around about 10mm back from the edge of the board. The reason for that is I think when they closed the doors at the front hinge, they wanted to release or remove some of the bolt. I just saw a rat up there. He climbed out of that hole. Bet he goes scurrying along that.
I feel like David Attenborough now. Thought that rat sack would have got him. It's been up there for weeks. Did you see that? It's a cat. Good cat. She knows.
Now we just have to plot where we're going to put the foam. Of course we want to keep the foam away from where this door handle is. Here it goes like that. So I've marked a line around that, so I'm going to have to cut that padding away because we're using 10mm padding, which is a nice thick coverage. Now of course we also need to keep the padding away from where these straps are going to go. So I sort of just marked top and bottom of where the strap actually sits. Just take a measurement. Just cutting on the outside of that black texture line. So there she is, she's ready to go, ready for cover now. Keep that strip out there. One other thing you might want to do as well is just in the hole there for your lock button, just pick that foam out there too, because that'll get on your road. It doesn't have to be neat. Just make the hole accessible. Okay, you'll understand in a minute why I need to find the location of these holes that I've drilled. They're very small. I just realised I've actually lost the needle that I need to use. Just going to rule the line along those. Okay, I'm ready to start putting the main cover on these door panels. Yeah, just a little bit of advice. It pays to maybe do a back one first. Make sure your technique's right, and your system, and you know, the front doors are the ones that everybody looks at. So that rear doors hardly ever get opened. So yeah, just do a back one first. Just makes it a little bit better if you need to change technique, or you know, do something different. Or now, all I'm focusing on at the moment is getting this piece of vinyl inserted along here, along this bottom edge here. So I'll put a nice big heavy coat of glue on the bottom edge. I'm not worrying about the rest of it just yet. That blue line, that biro line, is the line of the holes for the trim. Okay, the trim's going to be held on with buttoning twine. That blue line, along that blue line there's a series of holes which go through the board, and I want the cover to just overlap past centre. The reason being is if I finish it right on centre, the actual the trim is actually going to sit sort of facing down a little bit, so I need a nice level flat surface for that trim to sit against. If I end it half, like, you know, right down the centre line, it's going to lean inwards at the bottom. Okay, the glue's had enough time to dry. I'm just using one of the offcuts just to, there is a bit of glue on the foam there, and if I'm trying to position that in exactly the right spot, which you really have to get it right on, and it sticks to that foam, it's just going to make my life a little bit miserable. So just covering that bit of foam, and it'll allow me to slide this cover around and get it right in the right spot.
first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to staple this cover off around the back because we don't want that catching and lifting off and whatnot while I'm doing my thing. Just going to staple it off on the back. Okay, that's great. So now what I need to do, there should be 8 holes in this, just above that line. I'll locate them. Just fastening this metal strip. So we know where the holes are. Holes there. Put our button twine through there. Feed it up through, over and back out. Okay, so there is the backing to the trim. Oops. If I pull that forward, you'll notice that the strings go through both layers of fabric, which is what I wanted to achieve. The reason for that is I didn't want to just depend on glue to secure both of those pieces of fabric. So I've designed this so that once that strip pulls on, those button strings go straight through both layers of fabric, holding it tight. We just staple them off on the back. Nice. That's great. So this is the frame, basically the foundation for our trim. Just have to grind out where the button string is on those strips. I just need to, with the Dremel, just grind out that section there. Otherwise it'll sit with a bump. So, and we don't want a bump. Beautiful. I don't generally, when I put these in, I don't generally cut a circle out, because over time as the vinyl contracts and shrinks, especially being on the window edge, you'll get, it'll shrink. I just generally just cut like a four-way slot, like an X, and I'll pop the bezel in, and that'll allow the vinyl to shrink back wherever it wants over the years without leaving a hole. Yeah, you can attack it with a scalpel and get in there and actually cut a nice circle out, but there's, you're not doing yourself any favours. Just got to straighten these out a little bit. Just pop it in. There we go. Beautiful. So there we have it. That is a brilliant finish. I'm so happy with that. And I'm sure people will be delighted as well. So I've done the two backs. I won't film the fronts because they're exactly the same. I did modify my technique, like I was saying, do a back one first. If you're not happy with your technique, modify your technique. Do the second one, check it, make sure before you do the fronts, because the fronts are the ones that everyone sees. And yeah, so bloody delighted with it. It's just an amazing finish. And this is going to look stunning in his car, and I can't wait to see them. So look, thanks for sticking through this video. It's I know it's a bit different to what I normally do with my ZF, but yeah, it's a lot of people are saying, you know, do a separate video, you might get a few more subscribers. If you do stumble across this video and looking for upholstery, well, in my normal videos, the ZF Fairlane restoration, if you YouTube that, you'll see other upholstery jobs that I've done, plus the car restoration itself. So like it, share it, subscribe, blah blah blah, do all that nonsense that they tell you to do when you watch these videos. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was useful to you.